rankings. Be honest. If you know boxing, be honest. There's levels.
In the show, bro. The show. He's very sharp. That's all I can.
Dangerous.
Say. Very dangerous. Don't look like he's a 46.
He looks like he's 36 or 26.
Yeah.
Gervonta Davis is left in awe after witnessing Manny Pacquiao's jaw-dropping training ahead of the Barrios fight. Despite his age, Pacquiao displays incredible speed and power, tearing through his workouts like a man possessed. His relentless footwork and razor-sharp punches make one thing clear. He's nowhere near finished and looks ready to dominate the ring once more. Manny Pacquiao's teammates revealed that during recent sparring sessions, he looked as sharp and explosive as ever. They said he hasn't lost a step and still trains with the same intensity as he did in his prime. One teammate noted that Pacquiao went 8 hard rounds without showing any signs of fatigue, maintaining his trademark speed, power, and precision from start to finish. His movements were crisp, and his punches landed with perfect timing. What truly amazed them was how fresh he remained, even after such grueling work. According to those closest to him, Pacquiao isn't just keeping up, he's setting the pace and proving he's still a serious force to be reckoned with.
Everybody is surprised, so it's going to be a good fight.
What's the most impressive? His speed, his power, his footwork?
It's everything, because you don't see him slow down. People say he's slowing down, but he's not. I mean, that's where you're exactly going to be surprised, because he's sharp, really, to be honest with you. He's very, very sharp. That's why I don't want to say anything else, but...
No, leave it at that.
You know,
but how...
I live it that way, but...
Okay, so let me ask you this. In 11 days, he steps into the ring at the MGM in Las Vegas to fight Mario Barrios.
Yeah.
How does the fight end?
There's a chance of knockout.
Manny,
I can see that.
You can
but
see a
I'm
knockout?
I'm not going to say what round, but...
Just that Manny wins either way, knockout or decision.
Yeah, I don't think decision, maybe. But decision is kind of... I don't know if it's going to distance, really. Because the way
Manny's
I
that
see
explosive.
everything is... I don't know.
Okay, now let's talk about his son, Jim, for a second. How talented is his son?
He's a very good fighter. You know, he's
Good
going
power.
there.
I've seen him knock people out.
Yeah, he's but power. You know, but right now he's still. You know, we want him to grow more. You know, so to be ready. Actually, he's ready already. So we just want it to work in silence. We keep it down.
What's your message to all Pacquiao fans who are watching this, who are getting ready, who are excited for Manny Pacquiao Barrios, July 19, Las Vegas?
Tune in to this coming fight, because it's gonna be a very good fight.
Don't go to the kitchen. Don't go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Don't look at your phone.
Yes,
because it can happen.
Focus on that, because I know Mario Barrios also is training hard too. Manny also, he trained like there's no tomorrow.
Roy Jones Jr. has voiced strong confidence in Manny Pacquiao's ability to capture another world title in his comeback. While many point to Pacquiao's age and time away from the ring, Jones believes those factors are outweighed by his unmatched work ethic, experience, and relentless fighting spirit. He describes Pacquiao as a rare breed of athlete, capable of defying the odds, insisting the Filipino icon still has the tools, discipline, and mindset to compete and win at the highest level. According to Jones, Pacquiao's intense drive in training is clear proof that he's not returning for show or nostalgia, but to truly compete and conquer once again.
I would not be able to take credit for beating Pacquiao after he got knocked out by Marquez, because that's not the same Pacquiao.
Of course.
That's not the Pacquiao at the top of his game.
Yeah, of course.
But in society today, we'll call that person the best fighter ever.
Of course.
When that's not how that goes. That's not reality. But in the business world, it is, because look how much money he made.
Here we go. Who's
greater than me? I said, Sugar Ray Robinson. He said, Sugar Ray Robinson? How many wins he got? I said, he got like over 150 wins. He stopped for a minute. He said, but who got more championship titles, me or him? I said, hold on, Floyd. He said, answer the question. I said, Floyd, there's more titles now than then. There was just one then. That's no fair. Answer the question. I said, okay, you. Do I not have 28 titles? And I was just like, I don't know. He said, oh, you're supposed to be the expert. But the reason why I said that is because there's minor and major titles. Who else greater than me? I said, Henry Armstrong, Roberto Duran. He said, oh my God. He said, you said something about Pacquiao. Yeah, I said, I think you'll beat Pacquiao every day of the week, but I think he had a greater career. He said, you ain't think Pacquiao was on steroids? I said, he didn't fail any tests, Floyd. He said, look at me in my eyes. I can't say, man, he didn't fail. He said, oh man, you failed. I saw that as a initiation. This is what you about to get. Nobody's greater than Floyd. My thing is, he should feel that way, but you can't expect everybody to feel that you're the greatest, Floyd.
Mario Barrios has made it clear that while he holds great respect for Manny Pacquiao outside the ring, that respect won't carry into fight night. He acknowledges Pacquiao's legendary status, but sees him purely as a challenger coming for his title. Barrios emphasized that once the bell rings, sentiment goes out the window. He intends to treat Pacquiao like any other opponent trying to take what's his. His words reflect a focused, no-nonsense mindset and a firm commitment to defending his belt without being influenced by Pacquiao's legacy.
You know, ever since the fight was announced, I think initially I was kind of just like shocked. Like, man, dude, like Pacquiao wants to fight me, right? He wants to fight me for my title. You know, I think for the sport of boxing and I think just sports in general, like Manny is that name. When you think about boxing, right? He's somebody that comes to mind. At least for me, like I've been watching him since I was. Again, since my earliest memories of boxing, Manny has been a name that's like, okay, like he's the man. And yeah, you know, now he wants to come out of retirement. He wants to fight me for my title. I can't look at it as anything other than, you know, it's just another opponent trying to take what's mine. You know, he's outside the ring. I have, you know, nothing but respect for him, nothing but respect for everything he's accomplished. For the person he is, you know, everything he does, you know, for his country and more. But as soon as we step in the ring, you know, he's in there trying to take what's mine. I'm not training with the mentality, you know, that I'm getting ready, you know, to fight an icon, fight a legend. At the end of the day, he's just another man, you know, trying to fight for my title. He's going in there trying to, you know, take my title, and I got to do whatever it takes to make sure he does.
Brian Mendoza has acknowledged Manny Pacquiao's greatness. Remains grounded in the reality of how age can affect a fight. While he praises Pacquiao's sharp instincts and impressive speed, Mendoza points out that time catches up with even the best. He believes Pacquiao may start strong, but physical limitations could surface in the later rounds. Mendoza's take serves as a reminder that while fans admire Pacquiao's comeback, they should also be mindful of the challenges aging fighters face in sustaining peak performance through the demands of a high-stakes bout.
Don't say that before the interview.
I don't. This is an unbiased opinion.
And I'm looking forward to it, you know, even just as a boxing fan, you know, obviously coming up, it was always, you know, seeing Pacquiao's fights and stuff, and now to see the homie, you know, going up against him like that, it's wild, man. It's a wild feeling. I know you're more so for him, but nah, man, I think at the end of the day, I feel like, you know, the age will show up in the fight. I think at first, you know, he's had people talk about the layoff, but it's also a rest for someone at that age. So I feel like he's going to be rested. I feel like we might see, you know, hints of little old Manny, no pun intended, but old Manny. Little bits of flashes of that in there, but I think at the end of the day, man, Mario's super sharp. This is the sharpest I've ever seen him, you know, this far in camp. I'm super excited, bro, and he's gonna put on a great show. I still kind of lean towards like a decision, but regardless, it's Mario's way. If there is a stoppage, I think it'll be in like the second half. Like I said, you know, because I think that's really when the age is gonna show. Because you can look good in the gym, man, but once those bright lights are on you, anything that's wrong will come out. So it's as much of a.
Despite doubts about his age, many fans remain confident that Manny Pacquiao's natural talent and ring IQ are still very much intact. Recent training footage has reignited optimism, with supporters convinced he still has the strength and explosiveness to challenge younger opponents. They argue that Pacquiao's unique angles, relentless pace, and deep stamina have always set him apart, and those traits don't just disappear with age. The growing excitement around his comeback is fueled by belief in his adaptability, determination, and unmatched fighting spirit.
Manny Pacquiao returns to the ring against a young fighter, champion WBC, Mario Barrios. How do you see that fight playing out?
Barrios is a tall guy, and he's a tough guy. You know, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt because Pacquiao is a champion, the holder of the records of 8 divisions, and he knows how to fight, he knows how to win, so you always got to give it that opportunity for him to show up. And now whoever shows up in that ring, whether it's a desire to win or just try to be there, that's a question that we have to see. But I believe that he has the ability to do something to win the fight against Barrios.
Analysts agree that Manny Pacquiao's best path to victory is through a fast, aggressive, and calculated start. With concerns about stamina potentially becoming an issue in the later rounds, many suggest he needs to set the tone early and pressure Barrios with his trademark speed. By asserting control from the opening bell, Pacquiao can build momentum and reduce the risk of fatigue catching up. The strategy hinges on exploiting Barrios' slower adaptability while steering clear of drawn-out exchanges that could sap his energy.
I was talking to somebody about Manny coming back fighting Mario Barrios. Ouch. And this was the analogy I gave. Your timing is just, it slows down. That's time. Time slows you down. And so to me, I think Manny has to come out very strong, very fast in the first couple of rounds because his gas tank ain't what it used to be. At 46 years old, you come out and let's just say hypothetically your gas is half full at 46 years old. I'd rather try to use that half tank
when I got something
in 2 or 3 rounds.
Yeah.
And really get off on this kid because he has the kind of style. Styles make fights. He's got the perfect style for Manny to do what he do. But the further that fight goes, the more that's gonna go down. He ain't young no more when it does this. It ain't gonna do this no more. It ain't gonna go down and then come back up. He not gonna create space, take a deep breath, and that thing shoot up the way it used to. He ain't gonna do that, you know?
Observers have noted that Barrios' defensive style could leave openings for Pacquiao's relentless offensive attack. Many believe Pacquiao has the skill set to pierce Barrios' guard, especially with his quick combinations and sharp angles. Critics of Barrios argue that his defense shows vulnerabilities one's a higher-ring IQ fighter like Pacquiao is well-equipped to exploit. If Pacquiao stays sharp and minimizes early damage, he has the potential to put Barrios in serious trouble. As the fight unfolds,
Pacquiao Barrios, bro. Who do you like?
It's hard to know, at the age of Pacquiao, what we're going to get from him, But I'll tell you this. Depending on his conditioning, right? Depending on how much he can pop in on that instep that he brought to me, that notorious instep, if he can pop in that instep and if Pacquiao can get in, I know he can hurt Mario Barrios. Defense of Mario Barrios is still suspect. He is willing to get caught. You can catch the kid. It's not hard to find.
Questions about Barrios' pedigree continue to surface, particularly given that he's been stopped by opponents who arguably don't match the speed and power Pacquiao still brings to the table. While analysts acknowledge Barrios as a solid fighter, they point out that he has yet to truly prove himself at the elite level. This presents a potential opportunity for Pacquiao, especially if he sets a fast pace and draws Barrios into uncomfortable exchanges. Many see this as a very winnable fight for Pacquiao, as long as he stays disciplined and executes a smart, controlled strategy.
Cool with it. If I was cool with Manny Pacquiao coming back and fighting Keith Thurman, I'm definitely going to be cool with this one. Barrios is not a puncher. Thurman was one of the biggest punchers in boxing. I think he's going to be just fine with Mario Barrios, who we know what he is on the top level. He comes up short. He's been stopped by fighters that are less than Manny Pacquiao, Tank Davis. So I like this fight. I think he's not going to be an overwhelming favorite, but I think it'll be a 50-50 fight, regardless of his inactivity and age. His explosiveness, even at this age, his greatness, and the fact that you can never know what Barrios you're going to get. And yeah, man, I like this fight. Why not? Nostalgia, marketable. Everyone will be behind him. It'll be internationally successful. I'm in.
How are you comparing Pacquiao coming back this summer at 46 after not fighting in 5 years to Pacquiao in 2019 fighting Keith Thurman, which came after back-to-back wins over Lucas Batiste and Adrian Broner. Those two scenarios could not be more different.
Some analysts argue that if age weren't a factor, Manny Pacquiao would be the clear favorite in this matchup. Even now, they believe his fundamentals remain strong and his boxing IQ is far superior, according to them, if Pacquiao can replicate the high volume and dynamic footwork that defined his prime. The stylistic edge leans in his favor. Much of the buzz around his comeback has centered on his impressive form in training and sparring. Those close to his camp report that he's moving with remarkable sharpness, throwing crisp combinations and showing quick, agile footwork. He's reportedly gone multiple rounds without fading and remains mentally locked in, signaling he's fully prepared for the challenge ahead.
So former 8 division world champion, now Hall of Famer, Manny Pacquiao is now gearing up to take on, man, this is going to be an interesting fight. Now, I see a lot of people talking about Pacquiao saying that he's a former shell of himself, which he probably is. But make no mistake, 60% Manny Pacquiao is still good enough to beat on a lot of these young. Now, people were talking about Mario Barrios because he Udonis Ugas, someone who beat Manny Pacquiao last time out. But styles make fights, and this training footage of Manny Pacquiao training, I don't know. I think Barrios might be in for a long night, especially given his last time out with Ramos.
He ain't lying.
Paulie Malignaggi has expressed concerns about whether Manny Pacquiao can sustain his performance throughout an entire fight. While he acknowledges Pacquiao's elite preparation, he cautions that at an older age, the body doesn't recover as quickly as it once did. Malignaggi believes that even the best-trained veteran fighters often struggle in the championship rounds, where stamina and leg strength are crucial. Despite these worries, he admits that Pacquiao is a special case and might still be able to defy these natural physical limits.
What do you think about, Manny's decision and obviously getting thrown right into a title shot?
When you get older, your legs are not the same. You may have very good legs for a few rounds, but as you drag out a long fight, your legs start to betray you. I felt that later in my career. I would get into shape, but now all of a sudden, around 10, 11, 12, my legs are dragging ass, bro. Pacquiao, having not fought in a while, 46 years old. A lot of tough fights, a lot of wear and tear on Manny Pacquiao. But Manny had 70-plus pro fights. And he wasn't a defensive specialist. A lot of impact, a lot of back-and-forth impact. He's 46, He had a lot of heavy wear and tear into his late 30s and early 40s. So how are his legs going to be? That's my biggest thing, because I think, Manny was a range-changing fighter. He was he was that style, in and out. He's not a pocket guy. And an in-and-out guy needs his legs, and needs his legs the whole fight. Unless he lands something big. I will say, I think Mario Barrios. I think he.
Barrios has highlighted that many great fighters have struggled when trying to defy the effects of time. He believes Pacquiao could face a similar fate, especially if the fight extends into the later rounds. Barrios points to his youth and endurance as advantages, noting that history often shows aging legends getting caught when they least expect it. There's a growing belief that Pacquiao may no longer possess the same knockout power he once had. Critics argue that while he can still land clean shots, Barrios' youth and durability might allow him to absorb the damage and endure. They contend that Pacquiao will need more than just precise timing. He'll require sustained power to finish the fight early.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is official. Manny Pacquiao will actually be fighting Mario Barrios for the WBC welterweight title. If this man comes back and beats Barrios, which, if I'm being totally honest, I don't think he's winning this fight even remotely. I think he could actually get stopped, in my opinion. It's not because Manny's not great or nothing. He's one of the greatest of all time. You could argue that he is the greatest of all time. You know what I'm saying? 8th division champion. But he's just too old, man. This man is 46 years of age. If he wins this fight, he ties Bernard Hopkins' record for the oldest champion in boxing. That would be crazy. But if I'm being honest, I just don't see him winning. I see him getting stopped, dropped and stopped, if I'm being honest. He was having trouble with Ampo, bro. And Ampo not even a boxer. He a kickboxer. And yeah, I just don't think he'll, I just think he's too old, if I'm being honest. I just think he's too old to win the title. But let me know what y'all think down below.
Interestingly, Barrios' own trainer has offered a fresh perspective on Pacquiao's comeback. He warns that assuming Pacquiao's time away from the public eye equals weakness could be a mistake. According to him, Pacquiao may have been quietly training the entire time, staying in top shape, even during his absence from the spotlight. This, he suggests, could make Pacquiao even more dangerous, his body well rested and fully recovered. A rare advantage in boxing. The trainer hints that Pacquiao's current sharpness proves he never truly stepped away from the sport. While many are excited about Pacquiao's return, some feel this fight shouldn't have been arranged. Critics argue that bringing retired legends back for big paydays can damage their legacy and send the wrong message about boxing. They emphasize that Pacquiao has already secured his place among the all-time greats and has nothing left to prove. From this viewpoint, stepping back into the ring, especially against a younger, active fighter, risks tarnishing his historic career.
So Manny Pacquiao versus Mario Barrios for the WBC welterweight title is being targeted for late July in either San Antonio or Las Vegas on Amazon Prime. Pacquiao is currently in a Senate campaign in the Philippines in May, but after that he wants to return in the summer for a world title and try to break his own record as the oldest welterweight champion at 46 years old. Now, I have every issue in the world with this. Manny Pacquiao, he's my favorite fighter of all time, but this is just not great for boxing. Pacquiao's last fight was 4 years ago in 2021 against Jordanis Ugas, and in that fight he looked a lot slower, not as explosive, and he got outboxed. And then last year when he was targeting the Barrios fight, he had an exhibition against a kickboxer, Rukia Anpo, first, and he looked even slower and even more hittable in that fight. I don't think Pacquiao should be sanctioned to fight a world title fight at 46 years old, and not that Barrios is some scary knockout artist or a pound-for-pound level talent. If there's one champ at 147 that Pacquiao could upset, it would be Barrios. But in all likelihood, Barrios being the younger, bigger guy, he's just going to beat Manny for 12 rounds, probably stop him late. So I just don't want to see the fight. Pacquiao's accomplished everything in the sport. He really doesn't need another fight at 46.
That wraps up today's video.